All right, well, look, Snoogs has been starting off the show normally with a bit of a joke. I've got 5 shitty jokes here. I'm going to say them all, and whichever one's the best, I'm going to cut the rest out.
I got one too.
Oh, so. You've got one. Okay, well, you go first.
All right. So, did you hear that Chuck Norris once was on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune?
No, I did not hear that.
So, he spun the wheel, and then for the next 29 minutes of the show, everyone just stood around awkwardly waiting for the wheel to stop spinning.
Rumour has it, it hasn't stopped to this day.
Yeah.
They had to end the show.
Yeah, they actually had to prove their cheat by hitting that casino brake they use in roulette wheels.
Oh, yeah. Hit the brakes with it.
Still burnt it out, though.
Lovely. All right, so I got one here. I got 5 anyway. Let's kick them off. So I was at the bank today, and this old man walked up to me and asked me. He said, "Excuse me, young man, can you help me check my balance?" So I pushed him over and said, "Your balance is shit, old man."
Cool. I'll give that a 3. That's a solid 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5, not bad. Not bad.
Look, I don't know where these are going, so I'm giving myself room to move.
I don't know if they're going up or down.
Okay, well, we'll find out.
The other day, my wife asked me if I could pass her lipstick, but I accidentally grabbed the glue stick instead. She's been giving me the silent treatment ever since. I feel that one's down.
Yeah, that one's down. I'm getting 1.5.
All right, let's see if we can bring it home with this one here.
Sure.
So my friend said to me the other day, "What rhymes with orange?" And I said, "No, it doesn't."
You know what? That's not very funny, but it's very clever. So I'll give that a 4.
All right, what about this one? It's number 4. My wife's always trying to control me, and it drives me insane. The other day, she come up to me and said, "Look, you got to stop acting like a flamingo." So I had to put my foot down.
Ooh, yeah. No, that's your worst yet. I'm giving that half.
Oh, dear. All right, number 5. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
As I suspected, someone has been adding soil to my garden. The plot thickens. Shit.
Yeah, I'm at a loss for that one. That's getting... Can I take away all the points you've gained so far?
Yeah, I might just cut this entire part out of the show and go, "No joke this week. Let's start the show."
3, 2, 1, 0.
We recommend wearing headphones. This
is the Aussie Gamers
Experience. News, reviews, and outlandish fun. Experience it all. This is episode 253, and today is Monday, the 15th of April, 2019. Welcome to the Aussie Gamers Experience video game podcast. I am your pretend host for the week, Lucas, and here with me is the one and only bearded father of 3, the man with a generic name that's gone all spazzed out. His name is Grejio. How are you, mate?
I'm good. You've clearly not done that in a while. You've been pent up. That was a lot of gushing there. You're just like, oh, I just got to keep going. I'm rolling. I'm on a roll. Just keep naming him things.
I'm just really impressed I was managed to get that out without screwing it up. But anyway. But also, at some stage tonight, in real Grejio fashion, is the I'm running late guy, Snoogs. Snoogs will be joining us eventually. He's running late, so we won't be missing out on his deep, beautiful, booming voice. That'll be a little bit later. And also, last but not least, we're also being joined by my sexy new computer desk. Yeah.
Giddy up.
She's big. She's black. It's Shaniqua. Ooh.
And she's sturdy. She's a sturdy woman.
Beautiful. All right, before we start, here is this week's show in preview. I've put together a This Week in Gaming in about 2 minutes flat in the absence of Snoogs. Then we'll do some game talk, some news, and last words. I'm pretty sure that's how it normally goes, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, let's go into Twig. I took the liberty of renaming it to Twig. This Week in Gaming.
Nice.
I'm an idiot. All right, so This Week in Gaming going all the way back down to 1989, if any of you can remember that, except for Radicus. I'm sure he was well on top of it. The 21st of April, 1989, April, Nintendo releases Super Mario Land on the Game Boy and introduces Princess Daisy to the Mario series. Did you ever have... You had a Game Boy, didn't you?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, you deprived child. Why not?
Yeah, I was just one of those kids that, we didn't have that kind of money lying around for Game Boys and whatnot. Let's put it this way: I actually had, as opposed to having Game Boys and consoles and stuff like that when I was that young, because in '89 I was the first year I started school, right? So I was about 6 years old. But my dad, he worked for the electricity. At that time, was it Electricity Commission? It might have just changed over to Integral. Either way, that's not important.
Yeah.
But he was one of the first people in Integral to have a mobile phone, and he was probably one of the first people to have a PC for work at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember throughout my childhood there was always PCs around when most people I knew didn't have PCs. So especially at home, they were just expensive and usually for work. They weren't really for play, but all the people that had them for work used them for play. So I remember playing things like Jazz Jackrabbit and Duke Nukem and all those things. And that's where I came up with my gamer tag way back then.
Yes.
But
so he was the first to have a mobile phone. First mobile phones, they were massive and were literally for making phone calls. If you wanted to play a game with a mobile phone back then, oh yeah, no doubt.
One of those came in a suitcase. The
If
battery...
if you wanted to play a game on them back then, you would have had to, do the whole, hello, just wanted to see if your fridge was running. You better go catch it. Or, or what's your favourite scary movie?
Use it for a hammer throw.
Massive things. Nice. Well, anyway, yeah.
I had friends at school that had them, so we used to. I remember it wasn't '89. Much later. It was probably in about '93.
Yeah.
One of my friends at school got one, and we used to play WWF wrestling on it. And yeah, I remember sucking hard at that game.
Well, good segue there. Since talking about being at school, I have a story about my copy of Super Mario Land from when I was in primary school. I may have told this story on the podcast a long time ago before. I'm not sure, but I took it to school, and there was another kid there that had a Game Boy as well. His name was Mark. And we switched games and swapped, for a little bit. And after a while, I brought his game back and gave it to him, but he didn't have my copy of Super Mario Brothers. And he never gave it back. And then there was one day, I think he said he lost it or something like that.
Oh yeah, convenient.
But then there was one day I saw him playing it. So I ran up to him and snatched it out of his game, like it was like pro move, flicked the switch, because when you turned it on, it had that little tab that stopped the game from coming out. Yeah, locked the game in. Yeah. So I've flipped it in one ninja motion and slid the cartridge out and took it and said, dude, that's mine. You said you lost it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, teachers have gotten involved and they took the game and sort of held it to ransom to whoever could prove whose it was. And it was mine. It was 100% mine. And he even admitted to that after the fact that it was mine. But he was claiming it was his. I was claiming it was mine. And I went and sat in front of the principal, and he was holding the cartridge in his hand. And he says, is there something about the game that you can describe to prove that it's yours only? And it was funny, I don't know if he was trying to do this to help me out or whatever, but as he was holding it, I saw on the game he was holding a little bit of red pen on the cartridge, which I'd not seen before, but I saw it. And I went, oh, it's got some red pen on it somewhere on the back if you have a look there. And he's looked at it and he goes, oh, yeah, it does. Okay, well, all right, well, fair enough. It must be yours, and gave it to me. And, I don't know how that red pen got there. But then I got my game back and I never lent any of my games to anyone ever again. Well, in primary school anyway. What a son of a bitch! I'm gonna name him. His name was Mark Maroon. Mark Maroon, if you are out there anywhere today, fuck you, man.
Grudges be strong.
That's right. You cheating bastard. But anyway, I got my game back. And then I then started marking all my games with red pen. So I've got all those cartridges still somewhere marked, like put away, and they have the red pen on them. There you go. What a story from the past.
There you go. So
let's hope he's not a hitman.
I'm guessing that would have screwed his save game too. Like,
no, there was no save games on that one. No save games on that one.
There?
No, in Super Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins, that had save games, but the first one did not.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So, either way, didn't care.
Yeah, no.
All right, well, that was Twig.
Do you think he's going to roll with it, or do you think he's just going to get really, like, uppity and go, that's not what this song's called? Yeah.
No, he's not going to use that. He's going to think it's stupid and go back to This Week in Gaming. Because I think it's stupid.
I thought it was stupid too, which is why I'm asking. Because I was just like, I just want to see the level of frustration that he gets over it. He's just like, oh, this is so dumb.
Oh, no, I hope he doesn't use it.
Yeah. Now, I think we've just guaranteed he's going to go, no, screw it, I'm going to use it now.
Oh, maybe. Maybe it was reverse psychology. Who knows?
Maybe. We'll never know.
That's it. All right, let's move into Game Talk. Okay, would you like to go first?
Yes, I would.
Just rip the Band-Aid off and go straight into Forza, will you?
Okay. So, very quickly, there was an update this week at the start of the new, because the Horizon Festival playlist was finished for the last 4 weeks. We now got a new one for this 4 weeks, and with it came a new online adventure mode called Drift Adventure. This is for all the drifters out there that want more drifting in the game. So now there's a PvP drift element to it now.
That's probably the last thing I want more of in that game.
Well, look, you either love it or you hate it. I don't think there's anyone that sort of sits on the fence with the drifting in this game.
Yeah, I'm happy to be sitting in the that's fucked cart, cart, because that's like the one thing that I just can't do in that game. No way.
Yeah. So I gave it a try today, and I have to admit, of all the PvP elements in this game, this is actually the least aggravating one. Even if you suck, this is actually the least aggravating version of PvP. So what happens is it gives you 3 races, and they're just circuits. And then at the beginning of the race, it just has a timer that counts down, and however many laps you clock over in that time is up to you. But what happens is every time you finish the finish line, your score resets, and you've got to try and get as much drifting done in the lap and get the highest score. And and then it ranks you via your score, right?
I'm likely to drift all the way to fucking sleep.
Fair enough. So then what happens is, as you can imagine, if it was like any other the PvPs, it'd just be a demolition derby. There'd be people slamming into each other. But essentially what they've done is they've ghosted everyone. You drive through everyone. You have to. There's only one way of doing this. And actually, that's what makes it so palatable against everything else. Because all the others, you run into each other and stuff like that, and it's people just slam through corners, and it's cancerous. But this, I didn't mind doing. Like, I don't mind drifting. I'm not overly good at it, but I'm good enough to, I didn't come last, so I did it. And as part of this whole new mode that they've entered, they've now got a new camera feature for the car, another camera mode. So when you're in cockpit mode, if you go into the settings, you can turn on what is drift mode. And what it does is, instead of staring directly out of the windscreen, it actually stares directly in the direction that you're going. So as your car starts to rotate, your vision turns to like looking either.
So if you're turning, if your car's turning right, the camera goes to the left.
Yeah, essentially. So yeah. So it's always focused on the direction at which the car is traveling, as opposed to which way the car is pointing.
Okay.
And you can adjust the sensitivity of it, the speed of it, and even the range of how much the head moves. So it's quite adjustable, and you can get it fine-tuned to exactly how you like it. And so I think it's really good. I think it works really well, especially if you're used to driving cockpit mode. It will. I actually want to try it on a normal race just to see how well it works. Sometimes, like steering through, sometimes you get crossed up through a corner or something like that, and it might be just handy to just have that slight head flick just to see where you want to be, kind of thing. So yeah. Anyway, so that's what's new. Obviously, this is an exciting time to be playing Forza if you're into that kind of thing, because they seem to be adding a lot of content at the moment. And it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. So that's my first game off the list, bro. What about you?
I'll be quite quick with this one because it's getting a little long in the tooth. But Trials Rising, I play that a lot, as a lot of people know. But last night, I think it was, we got some private multiplayer out of the way because that's something that wasn't available on launch, but it's available now through a patch. And basically, like I played with Skrill, Kazakyle, and the outcome of the night is Skrill is an up and coming star. He gave me a run for my money on a couple of the tracks.
Nice.
And Kazakyle has a lot of work to do. He's likes to bring up the rear, I guess, so to speak.
Cool.
Waiting for a comment. Trash game. There you go. It's a piece of shit. The only thing is, look, these guys are relatively new to it. They've only just picked it up, whereas I've been playing it for over 50 hours. And I've got to say it. Look, I know it's just I'm just sort of turning up my nose, being a bit of a snob. But when we did the extreme tracks, though. No, I'll leave it. I sound like an arsehole talking about it. I smashed them. They couldn't even finish the track. All right. But like I said, they're new. You know, they're still learning the game. All right, let's move on. Move on from that. So that was only a quick one. I'll punch through a couple. You don't know Jack Party Pack 2 live stream? Man, that was really good fun. I don't think you caught any of that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it was really late. No, that was really late that night. So you'll probably.
I saw the thing pop up, but yeah, I was kind of in the middle of something else. So I was
No, but it was good. There was a good turnout. Had big numbers coming to watch the stream. We met an absolute moron who just was I think I told you the story, didn't I? That's the story of the American dude that came in and just started just being a jerk to everyone, telling us how we were spelling everything wrong. I'm like, man, we're not spelling anything wrong. This is how we spell it in Australia. Oh, but it's wrong. And then other people are like getting into him saying, it's the Queen's English. We speak the Queen's English. You speak American English. There's, you can't go around saying that your way is correct. There's just a douchebag. And then he was like whinging about how we're doing everything Aussie. And mind you, he came into the Aussie Gamers Experience Discord and joined our voice chat. And I said to him, dude, you just realise that you're in the Aussie Gamers Experience Discord channel. It's Aussie, mate. You're going to get Aussie shit here. It's just a massive, massive douchebag. And then he started complaining about my overlay on the on the Twitch stream because a bit wasn't see-through enough. And then claimed that he would do a better job. And then he sent me through a couple of images which were exactly the same as what he was complaining about. And then said, I wasn't even trying.
I could do better, but, I can't try, so...
Yes. Kazakyle in the chat has just said he didn't understand the glass house saying. I said to him, because he was making fun of my art, so to speak, he was nitpicking it. I then have a look at his YouTube channel, And on his YouTube channel, he had videos, and like if you use a program, like a video editing program, it'll put a watermark on there. And same if you use demo screen recording stuff like Bandicam. Bandicam is a big one for it. It'll put a Bandicam watermark on there if you don't buy the actual app. And most of his videos had the bandicam.com watermark on it. I'm like, man, you're talking about the quality of my finish, and you've got this. And then I said to him, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And his response to that was, I don't live in a glass house.
Look, it takes all kinds, and let's be honest, you can't put brains in statues. So
yeah, but anyway, that was our experience throughout the night playing You Don't Know Jack, but it was hilarious. It was really good fun, and it spurred me on. I've gone and picked up the Jackbox number 5. So in that one, it's got like the actual trivia, so you can actually play trivia between people online. So I'm looking forward to giving that a try. But how old was he, Radicus? Well, look, the guy sounded like he was like 20 odd, right? So he was a young fella, but he claimed that he was 14. Now, I think he was older than that. I would have said that he was probably 17 or 18, but he claimed he was 14 years old. But I don't know a 14-year-old that sounds like he did. 14 is like when your voice is starting to crack, and you kind of sound young, but you kind of sound like your voice is breaking. But anyway, I don't know how old he is. Yeah. All right. Well, do you have another one?
I did. I mentioned at the end of last show that I was going to give Bomber Crew a crack.
Yes. That's right.
So I did, and I really enjoyed it actually.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that don't know, it's a strategic survival sim where you control the crew of a Lancaster bomber during World War II. And essentially the idea is every time you take off for a mission, you're micromanaging everything that the plane does, from landing, takeoff, the navigation, getting everyone sorted to defend against enemy fighter planes and stuff like that. And then obviously getting people organized in the plane to meet objectives, either like doing bombing runs or surveillance, search and rescue, air defense, you name it, all the things you'd expect from kind of thing.
From what I've seen of it, because when I did the editing for last week's show, I looked it up, and it reminds me of a game called Faster Than Light, or FTL, and where essentially it sounds like the same thing, except it's pixel graphics and it's in a spaceship.
Yep. Yeah, it's very similar. I think I vaguely remember the one you're talking about.
Radicus says his granddad was top gunner on a Lancaster bomber in World War II. That's cool, man. Do you mean top gunner as in like the gunner on the top of the ship? Or are you saying he was like good?
Well,
both.
Both.
Yeah, okay. So but he was on the top level. Like there's probably bottom ones as well.
Yeah, there was. So in the one that's on there, you've got one at the front, one at the back, and like one in the middle, and then and they're varying heights, obviously. But yeah, so you've got your crew, you've got to recruit them. I get the impression, I haven't played for very long yet, but I get the impression that these guys are going to die quite often. So you'll have to keep changing them out and making sure that they get more and more experience and try and keep them alive. You've kind of got like all these little bays inside the plane. Like there's a little medical bay kind of thing, like a stretcher that they can lie on. So if someone gets too injured, you can send them there. There's resupplying ammunition. So anytime the guys run out of ammunition, they have to leave their plane, pick up ammo, come back and reload. All those kinds of things you've got to manage. On top of that, something that I really enjoyed, and this will shock everyone, but you can create liveries for your airplane.
Of course.
So shock horror. That's probably the reason I didn't play as much as I did the actual missions. But I did. I had fun creating liveries for the airplane. I just created the one, and I'm happy with it, and I moved on. You get to change the equipment of the crew, dress them, and you get to fit out the airplane with armor and bigger engines, bigger guns, and stuff like that as you progress through. It's on Gamer Pass, so it's free there. If you don't, it's $20 to play. But at the moment, with the autumn sales, which I'll talk about later, it's about $8 at the moment. But that's only until Tuesday, and that's if you're listening to this on a Sunday, the following Tuesday. There's also a season pass, which is $12, which gives you 2 DLCs, which are together worth about $16. So if you play it and you like it and you get through it, maybe the $12 is worth paying for the extra DLCs. But look, I've really enjoyed it. I wanted to play it again before I jumped on today, but I just ran out of time, so I'll probably give it a crack afterwards. So
nice. All right, I'm going to have to get you to come and sit down in front of my computer for a couple of hours and do me some trials, liveries.
Yeah, sure. Done.
All right, well, I've got another one that I played this week. It's called Overload. Now, I'm not going to harp on this one too much. I absolutely love the game, but every time I mention it to someone, people don't really seem to care. Eventually, one day I'm going to run into somebody who really enjoyed the game called Descent. Now, we're going back a long time with 486 and 686 computers.
You found that person.
What did I do? Oh, you?
Yeah.
Have I not mentioned this game to you?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, we've got Kazakyle as well.
Yeah.
But the creators of Radicus used to make me dizzy. Yes, it was that kind of game. Can very easily turn you around. The makers of Descent actually made a new game, and it's called Overload. Now, it's not Descent, but it's pretty much the same game. And there is a new Descent game in development currently. It's not released just yet. But this game will definitely scratch the itch. They could have called this Descent, and I wouldn't have known any better. But, it's a beautiful upgrade of graphics, but still very simplistic like the original game. It's a 6 freedom style game, so you can move in any direction because you're in a ship. And you're inside like facilities and in underground tunnels and stuff like that. And you fly around, you've got missions, you've got to go find keys. It's very, very old school like Doom. You've got to find level access keys to go through specific doors. You've got to destroy generators. You've got to, obviously shoot enemies that are coming at you. There's different enemies, like enemies that'll ram you. There's enemies that'll shoot at you, different types and different speeds of projectiles. And, it's a beautiful great game. I've done some live streaming of it. And it's on Steam. It's taken me ages to pick it up because it's about $40 And I don't know.
I just found it on Xbox just then. It's $45
on Xbox.
So, yeah.
Is it on Xbox?
Yep. I'm watching the trailer for it right now.
Overload is on Xbox. I had no idea.
There you go.
Does it say where it was released?
Hang on. It was. I have to scroll down. Yeah. Where is it? Released last month. Beginning last month.
Okay, so it is very recent. All right, now I never heard anything about that because it's been on PC for a while because I played the demo of it ages ago. And it's absolutely beautiful. If you were a fan of Descent, I'm telling you now, get this game. I picked it up on g2a.com for $17 or $18 Australian. I thought, for that price, I'm definitely getting it. And it's great. It runs smoothly. The explosions and the lasers and all that sort of stuff look really cool. And yeah, really good game. I think this is most likely going to be super appreciated by fans of Descent. I think if you're not interested in Descent or don't know what it is, you may not be terribly impressed by it because it is very disorienting. With you got to control the yaw or the spin of your ship as well as the tilt forward and back as well as going forward and back and strafing and that. It has a bit on, but once you get used to it, it's pretty cool. Here's a bit of I don't know, just a bit of trivia or a bit of something for you. Make up your mind, whatever it is. But back in the day when I was playing Descent, there was a controller by the name of the Space Orb 360. It was the Space Orb Spaceball 360. and it was a controller, which instead of a thumbstick on the left or a D-pad, it had a ball. Can you imagine this?
Yeah. I think I've seen it.
So it's a blue-coloured ball. Now, the ball didn't spin, but it had sort of like a pole that went up the middle of it, and it was like spring-loaded. So if you pulled it to the left but twisted it, it would sort of roll your ship. So it would roll left or right. But if you pulled the ball to the left, like slid it sideways, you would strafe. But the thing is, you could do both of those movements at the same time. So you could strafe and roll at the same time. And then if you pulled the ball up, you would obviously raise. And if you pushed it down, it would the ship would
drop,
descend facing forward still, like it would if you use the keyboard. And it had all freedom of movement, brilliant controller. But yeah, obviously you can't get them anymore. I've still got mine somewhere, but I don't believe there's a port available on computers these days that will accept the plug. I think it's like a 9-pin serial. You remember those? Yeah, which is what like the old school mice used to plug into. It was like that. Beautiful for Descent. It was basically made for that game. So if I could get my hands on a new one of them, I would 100% get one. Absolutely. But anyway.
Cool.
Have we got Snoogs? Is there a Snoogs in the house?
Not yet.
Not yet. He's
on the list, but he's there.
He's doing up his shoelaces. We'll give him a couple of more minutes. What else have you got, buddy?
Actually, that's it. That's all I've got for this week. That's all I played.
Oh, okay. All right, well, let me go through.
If you've got something else.
Yeah, I've got a couple others. Just a quick...
Mutiny!
Oh, Jesus Christ, that scared the shit out of me.
Yes.
Oh, clearly we haven't done a sound check with Snoogs. Fuck.
I got nice and close for that one.
Oh, I believe you. How are you, mate?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Yes, very good, thank you. We are dragging our asses through the podcast without you, mate.
Oh, thank you. Sorry I'm late, everybody, and those listening along at home as well.
I'll forgive you.
That's all right.
Because it gave me free reign to go bloody mental with the intro.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, so...
Can't wait to hear it and critique.
Yeah, oh dear. It's terrible. It's on par. It's great.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, so nothing's changed then.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Anyway, a little bit of what you've missed for Snoogs. We're up to Game Talk, and I was about to have a quick chat about a game called Choice Chamber, which I was gifted by Kazakyle. Thanks, buddy.
Choice Chamber? Yeah,
Choice Chamber. Have you heard of it?
No, I have not.
Sounds like a sex dungeon thing.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Kind of.
Oh,
yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So what you do is you get your leather. No, it's not. It's a game that's designed around Twitch streaming, right? So, do you want the job or not? Very good. That's an inside joke, that one. It's a platformer where the viewers of your Twitch stream. So basically, the game doesn't fucking work unless you got people watching you. So I can't play it very much. So. But no, people will come because the people like these kind of games. But your viewers decide what weapons you get, what power-ups you get. They can even influence the size and type of enemies that come your way, the size of the level, whether there's spikes in the level, anything. I can't even think. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that you can pick. So, like, basically you'll start and there'll be an option that'll pop up on the screen for the viewers to watch, and it'll say... like weapon type, so it'll be like a hammer, sword, or a bow and arrow. And the people in the chat, if they type in the word, I don't know how it works, but it connects to your Twitch stream, and it takes how many people type in what, and the most votes, you'll get that weapon. So that's the weapon you'll use in the game. And then basically it's a platformer. You go from left to right. Generally, it changes sometimes, and the viewers will get prompts giving them options on what to pick, and it can either make your game easier, they'll give you some health, or they'll make it harder and fuck you up with more enemies, double enemies or double XP enemies or something like that. The only thing is though, It's a very impressive concept, but it's super repetitive, man. Like, it got pretty old pretty quick. So it's something that I would really like to see involved in a lot more of that kind of game, but just with a wider scope. And obviously it's a very indie game, but
did it get old quick just because no one was joining in, or?
No, I had people joining, and it was working well, because I think I had about 8 people at one stage watching me when I was playing that, and they were popping in. The only thing is that the game kind of hijacks your chat as well. So if somebody's actually trying to chat to you, you're going to miss it in all the people typing in hammer, and it's all popping up, and health and all that shit's just spewing through your chat. Something I'm not used to, seeing that many people typing shit. But it can hijack your chat, because it's hard to pick if somebody's actually writing something to you or if they're interacting with the game. So people that want to come in and chat with you may be turned away, sort of thing, because but that's it though. But it's good fun, I don't know how much it is, because Kazza gave me a code. Oh, that's right. Actually, I went to buy it because Kazza suggested it, but on Steam it didn't have a button to purchase it, although it is released. So I don't know what the go was there, but I had a code for it, so I managed to play it that way. Also, sorry.
Kazza just put in there $9.99.
$9.99. Oh, USD. Yeah, look, probably worth that, I guess. It's not, but wasn't actually available for purchase. I don't know how you get your hands on it then. Got to get a code somewhere. Just a quick note on, I donated plasma today. So I had, for some people in the Discord, would have seen photos of me with a needle in my arm and freaking out because people hate needles and stuff. But that's a nice little fuzzy, warm feeling, rewarding feeling you get from doing that sort of thing. And you get, free food at the end and drink and all that sort of stuff. So
get a cookie at the end. Woo!
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I did. I had a cookie today, one of those Byron Bay cookies. They're delicious. They're so good.
Yeah.
But I recommend anyone listening, if you've considered it in the past and haven't, give it a go. Donate any blood. It's a good cause. And I went to IKEA on the weekend. That was a good experience, and once again, people in the Discord are very privy as to why I went to IKEA. But you know what? I've got to explain my experience at IKEA, and I reckon it's like playing Sea of Thieves. I had like a little treasure map showing me where the loot was. Walking around the store, picking up the bits that I wanted and putting it in my trolley, aka my boat. And because I was in Marsden Park, there was an ever-present threat that someone was going to steal my shit.
That's pretty on point.
So luckily though, I got out with my loot and got it back, and it was a new computer desk, and it's all set up, and I'm sitting at it at the moment, and it's. Do you guys get that same feeling like when you move a room around and it just feels fresh and you just want to be in the space?
Yes.
Do you get that too? Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, a change is as good as a holiday sort of thing. But yes, I've got my desk set up. I've bought myself a new monitor for my CCTV cameras because I'm scared people hate me and want to come kill me. My PS4 is to my right with my Xbox underneath it, and it's all just nice. And all of my drawers are still empty. So I'll fill them up with miscellaneous wires in no time, I reckon. So, yeah. And, it's a lovely new feeling. And I've got my 2 PCs set up for streaming and all that. All right, I'll quickly move on to my last bit, which is about my new headphones. So I bought myself, I've been buying myself a whole bunch of shit, but I've been saving up for a long time. I bought myself a pair of Lucid Sound LS35X headphones. And the reason why I chose these over Astros, I love Astros, but these things just had that X factor, the LS35X maybe. And what it was is these babies connect directly to an Xbox without a dongle. So with no extra attachments, you can literally pair it up just like a controller, which I really liked that feature. Which also meant that I'd be able to connect them to my PC using the PC adapter, controller adapter that I already have. I don't have to plug anything else in. And I've got to say, it works as advertised. It's really good. They're also Dolby Atmos and Sonic. Is it called Sonic? Windows Sonic or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not that kind of Sonic. I think that's what it's called. So it's like all this fancy new surround sound stuff. But I found out that Dolby Atmos, you actually have to pay a subscription to use the sound.
Fuck off.
Yeah, and it's like, I think it's like $20 a month. Well, fuck off.
Yeah, it's some stupid thing.
Yeah, I'm not paying for that. And
Yeah, no.
They sound great anyway. But yeah, I've got to say that these headphones, they're good. They're probably not as comfy as the A10s. I feel like the foam bit around the ears is softer on the A10s, but the sound quality is much better than the A10s. They probably should be.
Are they much heavier? I always remember the LS was a heavy set.
Are you sure you're thinking of the LS? I never thought they were that heavy. Hang on, I'm just going to take them off my head.
The drivers were heavier.
I don't know how heavy the A10s are. I don't have them set. Look, they probably are heavier. There's a bit of metal.
Like just with the them being a bit like a stronger driver.
Well, yeah, they are big. I think they're 50mm drivers in them. I think the A10s have got a 40mm. But I think the biggest difference comes in sound quality is because these ones are amplified, whereas the A10s are passive. So they basically just rely on the sound that they're getting from whatever you plug into. Whereas these are active speakers. They actually have a power supply with a battery inside and an amplifier, etc., etc. So they will naturally sound better because they'll also have inbuilt, what do you call them? Things that
make you go,
what are they called when you're changing all the settings, all the megahertz and shit? I don't know, whatever. Someone
Equalizer?
knows. Equalizer, inbuilt equalizers and stuff like that. The battery life, they say it's 15 hours, but I've probably used it for about 10 and just charged it just in case, because I'll be pissed off if I get the wireless headphones and they go dead halfway through using them. But yeah, they connect up perfectly. I've had no dropouts. The best feature by far in these headphones, can leave them on, go to the fridge, and can still hear. Doesn't cut out between here and the fridge. And it doesn't cut out between here and the toilet either.
No, yep.
But
as soon as the microphone gets turned off, you got a silencer?
No, but the microphone, I use the desktop microphone. No, I don't.
Of course.
I don't use the microphone on the headphones. The headphones actually have two microphones. There's a like a hidden one inside it, or you can plug in a boom. Yeah, but I don't use either of them. I've got a desktop microphone that I use. Yeah. But I recommend them. They're $250, so they should be better than the A10s because the A10s are $100. And yeah, I'm happy with them so far. But horses for courses. But I don't regret my purchase, which is really cool.
All right, that's right, Radicus. You'll just hear splash sounds and grunts. They'll just sound like they're in the distance.
Oh dear! If you can hear it from the toilet into my office, man, that I need to go to the doctor.
Shouldn't have held off so long.
That's the end of my game talk. Snoogs, what have you got, buddy?
Well, I have a couple. I've been playing Gears of War Pop.
Oh yes, tell me.
On the phone. So we had a quick game together yesterday, or you had a go of it yesterday.
Yeah,
and since then I haven't really put it down.
I added one loss to your streak.
yeah, I've been going all right. Like I was saying to yourself and anyone else who wants to hear it, it's very similar to Clash of Clans.
Very, very Clash Royale. Clash
Royale, is it?
Yeah, Clash of Clans is the one that's like Age of Empires almost. Clash Royale is the one that's like
Clash Royale.
Gears Pop, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's very much similar to that. Same sort of setup. You've got an amount of energy for each character. They go out, they fight for you. You've got to take back and you've got to destroy all three of the opposition, pretty much. And the best thing about it so far, it's only available on Android.
Yeah, fuck. When does that happen?
I don't know. I'm
It's the
still
first time. There's got to be a
I'm
first.
still dumbfounded.
This is outrage.
Yeah, so but it's a lot of fun. There very much is some pay to win elements. It gets to a point where I'm finding the matchmaking's a bit off as well. I'm very low character and I'll get matched with someone who just annihilates me inside of 30, 40 seconds. But other than that, it works well, it plays well, it's fun, it's little tongue-in-cheek pop characters of Gears of War.
Well, I guess they release it on the Android first so they can test it out on the smaller audience that probably don't know how to complain as much because they're, simplified. And then they'll release it on the rest of the world with half a clue and put it on iOS.
Yeah, and what's even better is it looks fantastic at 120 hertz on my phone.
120 hertz on a phone. My God.
The screen on my phone's better than what I'm looking at the moment. So that's out now on Android, and I believe I saw somewhere today it's now up on the iTunes store as coming soon.
No, I just searched for it now. I've been actually looking every day because I want to play it, but no, it's not coming up.
It's not there yet.
No.
I wonder if it'll have crossplay.
I reckon it will. What are you logging in with?
Xbox.
Oh, it uses your Xbox account, does it?
Yeah. So you actually log into your Xbox account, so it comes up as Snoogs is playing.
Yeah, then it's very likely it'll be cross because you'll probably do the exact same thing on the iPhone and you can buddy up that way.
Yeah,
nice. I hope so. That'd be good.
What else? The Division 2.
Mm-hmm.
Lots and lots more of the Division. Well, actually, not even lots more. Just a little bit more of the Division 2. I'm in that end game grind now, getting towards max level. So I've just passed gear score 460, heading towards that 500 cap, and then I'll be raid ready. So the raid starts off next week.
Raid?
Yes, the raid. I still don't know any information about it yet, so I'm eager to see. And so teams of 8 get to go and do this raid. But yeah, it's just it's at a point now where it's slowed down a bit. The grind is now pretty real, but you've always got options every day. A new part of the map gets invaded, and you go out and you take it back. Essentially, you're doing a lot of the same things over and over again, but that's kind of the core of the looter shooter.
Nice one, man. Cool.
Yeah, so it's still fun. I've gotten over the ache, I suppose, of really wanting to play it. Like I'm still looking forward to playing it, but if I don't, it's not like a missed opportunity. So I'm over that sort of initial honeymoon period, or so to speak, and I'm just sort of starting to get into the grind of the game now, which is very cool.
Sounds like me in Trials.
Yeah, probably very similar. And the other game I wanted to bring up is one that yourself, Lucas, and I, and a few of our brilliant community members, excuse me, we all jumped on, and I forgot to bring this up last week. We played Cards Against Humanity online.
Yes, we did.
Yes, and I realised that we are all way too similar. We are all just as twisted as one another. And let's face it, if you agree to play Cards Against Humanity, you've already got some level of lunacy about you.
Yeah.
And it was a buttload of fun. Radicus, we put the call out.
Where were you, buddy?
Where were you? You ran away. Yeah, Skrill. So Skrill joined us, Kaza, and who else? There was 2 others. I can't for the life of me remember who they were. I do apologise if you're listening. Tell me who it was. War Boss, there you go, Kaz. And was it? Yeah, I said Az. Kaz is typing. Kaz is the go-to. Anyway, it's just exactly the same as Cards Against Humanity in real life. You get your cards laid out in front of you. The person, you get your black card, which is your sort of stager, and then everyone puts their white card up.
How many people can play that?
Doing the blanks. I honestly don't know. I think for some reason 8, maybe 10 sticks in my head.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Kaz has just put in the chat 16.
We should. It's probably a bad idea, but I'd like to live stream that and see if we can get people to just jump in with us. See what sort of weird and wonderful shit we get from strangers.
I went to live stream it,
and
there wasn't a category I could pick. So I don't know whether to just put it in under like an IRL or...
Oh, yeah, you'll find something. Just fucking put it on as Wanda.
Yeah, because no one will look at it then.
No, they'll find it. They'll be like, Wanda? What the fuck is that? Never heard of that game before. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's Cards Without... what's it called? Cards Against Humanity. Lovely.
Yes.
All this thing about beep and beep and beep.
Yeah, it's definitely doesn't hold back. It's just as full on as it is in solid form. What do they call that? Reality, physical.
I don't know.
That stuff. It's been a long day. That's it from me. In regards to stuff I've played. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, that's it from all of us. Let's go. Oh, geez, these dogs! Shut up, dog. Oi! Piss off! You're not coming on the stream again. I did a puppy stream last night as well. All right, let's move on to news. Right, who has news? Because I don't have anything that I've listed down because I didn't get that far down the script.
Of all people, how could you not have any news?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I forgot about that. Look, I don't. As much as I'm excited for that, I just don't care anymore because I don't want to be disappointed. I don't want to get my hopes up, so I'm not even going to pay it any attention. I'm fucking sick of it. I've heard other shit before where, it's just going to be at E3 and then I got nothing. So you can say it if you want. Are we talking about the same thing?
I don't know. I'm talking about Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, no, we're not.
No. No, we did have that to talk about. I think we were going to save it till the end so we could just nerd out for a while. But
okay, we'll leave that till the end, and yeah.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Splinter Cell leak for E3.
That's what I thought you were talking about too.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were mentioning.
No, I'm not going to be involved in that because I've given you the information that I found, so I've done my bit.
Yeah, I don't.
What you do with it now is completely up to you. Because I'm not building you up for it.
I'm doing nothing with it. Ubisoft will be dead to me. Well, I love Trials. Oh, why do they have to make good games? Fuck. They're so hard to hate for me anyway. God. Assassin's shit. And listening to the podcast last week with the editing, talking about Assassin's Creed. Now there's not going to be any Assassins. Then there's going to be no Creed. It's just going to be... That's it. That's the name. Hey, man, what'd you play on the weekend? Oh, man, I played for ages.
It's For Honor 2.
There's bloody the Vikings and shit. Oh, my God.
Ubisoft is finally
he's gonna like the new assassin with using the air quote thingies. He's going to be like fucking 140 kilos and be carrying an axe. He's not going to be able to climb anything. It's good because the only thing he can climb is a cliff face. And
Yep.
Splinter Cell or fuck off. Right. Anyway, who's got news?
Okay.
All right.
I got news.
Go, Greg.
All right, so I'll start off with the Xbox Autumn Sale. I mentioned it's like a little bit before, but it's on at the moment. It's on until Tuesday. So, like I said, if you're listening on Sunday, you've got a couple of days. So I had a quick look.
Days, mate.
There's some really good deals. So Division 2 is going for $70. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is going for $50. Jump Force is $60. Battlefield 5 is $50. Ace Combat 7 is $60. And Trials Rising is $30. There's some good deals.
Battlefield 5 is $50.
$50.
I paid $30 for it.
There you go. You obviously got it on the super sale. I don't know, mate.
I got super sale.
Just quickly, sorry, Radicus is saying, why are you fat shaming? Made 140 kilos of pure muscle.
Yeah, that's what I am.
That's what that's what I'm talking about with
140 kilos of pure muscle. It's just not my fault the muscle jiggles.
It's just out of shape muscle.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, it's just out of shape.
Sorry, just wanted to get that in before it went to the wayside.
Alcohol logged.
That's it.
It's alcohol logged.
Yeah, it's just intoxicated. That's why it's looking saggy.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah. So anyway, those are some things I saw. With Jump Force, it means that if you're happy to pay full price for the game, you can get the ultimate super duper version for the same price you would have got standard game in, which is pretty much a pretty common theme throughout the sale at the moment. So check it out.
Cool. What else?
I got some Division news, some Division 2 news. And I would like to pose this question to you. I'm not sure whether people are too picky or just a bunch of freaking snowflakes. So Ubisoft has have to come out and they've apologized for a homophobic slur on a poster in the Division 2. Now, this poster is of a copper eating a donut. So it's one of the Simpsons-style donuts.
Yeah.
And a bit of the donuts dropping onto his badge. Now, his badge number is FA6607.
That's just unfortunate.
What's a fabbit?
Yeah, a fabbit. It's like a fat rabbit.
Yeah, just a fabbit.
So,
Yeah, right.
so they're really upset about us fat shaming rabbits.
Yeah.
So it's been massive uproar about it, or as massive as it can be. Reddit's exploded. Twitter had a bit of a go as well, and apparently it references a punk rock album. I haven't looked into a lot of it, funnily enough, in regards to Henry Rollins. But I haven't looked at the original, which I might actually
fact checking in progress now.
Yeah, I'm trying to Google it. I don't really know what to Google.
Henry Rollins.
It's Henry Rollins' band that he was in, which was Black Flag.
Black Flag, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking up. But is there? I don't see one with the police on the front.
Or the number.
Either way, it doesn't really matter now. It's been taken out. No one can see it anymore. They've apologised. Talked about asset review. But I'll tell you what, if anyone that was making it was, in their mid-30s, they wouldn't have picked that up. We can see what it says, when you put that sort of thing into it. But I don't see a problem with it.
To be fair, look, yes, people are being snowflakes, but there is a problem with it. Like, there's no need for that to be there. There's no need for it. The reason I say I don't have a problem with it, I would never have noticed it. Yeah,
it's almost as though, and it's that is insignificant on the image. It's like someone's seen the image and gone, okay, that's a reference, and they've picked up the reference because the game's full of these sorts of Easter eggs. They've picked up the reference, zoomed in to have a look at this certain section of it, picked it up, posted it on Reddit, and then the rest is history, as they say.
I found it. Okay, so if you want me to describe it, look, listener discretion. I'm about to use the slur. It's a black and white single. It's not an album. It's Black Flag Police Story. and on the front of the album, there's a police officer with somebody holding a gun in his mouth. There's no donut. Obviously, they've substituted the gun for a donut in Division. And there's like a speech bubble that says, "Make me come, faggot." So, yeah, that's the reference. It is a Black Flag reference.
That's the reference. Yeah, fair enough.
And I guess they've tried to hide it behind the numbers instead of actually just writing it out. I think it's Snowflake. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. And it's it's a reference to something in the 80s.
Yeah, and even if they used the word and not sixes and all that sort of stuff, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But that's just me. I know the world is a different place than it was when back in the 80s, but I still don't have a problem with it.
But the 80s were 10 years of references. Why did you have to pick that one?
Maybe the person that was involved in that part is a fan. It's just as simple as that, you know? Like,
I know, but like once again, Black Flag weren't exactly a small band. There's plenty of references they could have picked. Once again, it's just poor choice, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You could have picked any other reference. You tried to be edgy, and now you're paying the price for being edgy. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I've got a different opinion than you. You're a snowflake too.
Yes.
No. I agree. The people complaining about this at nauseum are snowflakes. You and I are not going to disagree there. But the fact is, if you're going to be edgy, be prepared that this is what's going to happen. Like,
that's the thing. You know, they've come out, they've apologized for it. Yeah. It doesn't really matter. You know,
but you've also got to keep in mind that the people that are apologizing for it won't even be the people that put this in the game and probably didn't even know that it was in the game.
No.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And
as it is, the person
walk down and go, "Why the fuck did you put that in our game, you dickhead?"
And the thing is, too, this was made by, you know, someone whose first language probably isn't English either.
Possibly.
You know, the word has different meanings all around the world.
I'm pretty sure in this context, it has one.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Well, it actually is a bunch of sticks.
Yeah. Well, they're talking about one particular stick in someone's mouth.
Well, yeah. Oh, anyway. All right, let's move on.
Anyway, next bit of news.
Oculus VR. You remember that thing that we haven't talked about in ages?
Yeah.
So apparently, they've got a new touch controller that they're bringing up, and they sent out a bunch of them to devs, these dev kits to play around with. And apparently, inside the controllers were creepy hidden messages.
So they pulled them apart.
Yeah. When they pulled them apart, there were messages like, "The Masons were here, and Big Brother is watching you, and this space is for rent," were written on like cables and other bits of the interior. They
shouldn't have pulled them apart.
So anyway, look, it's just a fun story. You could almost say somewhat inappropriate due to Oculus's owner being Facebook and how, you know, they're pretty lazy and lax when it comes to people's privacy. But look, you know, I just saw it. I thought it was a funny story, so I thought I should get up here. So
someone doing a review on it's pulled it apart to have a look how it works and goes, "What the hell?"
Oculus did turn around and say that the messages were confined to just dev kits. They won't be in the actual public consumption models. So yeah.
So don't pull them apart.
So don't pull them apart looking for messages. All right. Don't void your warranty just for a laugh. It's not going to happen.
Just Google it.
Just Google it. There's plenty of pictures.
What else you got?
I've got God of War 1 year later.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of God of War on the PS4, Santa Monica Studios are releasing a PS4 theme and avatar set as a way to say thank you. So it's available from April 17. Apparently it's worldwide, but I've not seen an Australian article for it just yet. Yeah, it's just a dynamic theme. A lot of people thought it would be DLC coming out, but they've come back and said again, no, there's no DLC for this game.
Well, technically it is DLC.
Yeah, technically.
Did
But
you
you can't
download
play
it? Is it extra content?
It's DLC.
DLC
There we go.
done. Yeah, so that's coming soon.
Very good.
Cool.
What else?
PUBG has been banned in Nepal.
I heard that. I didn't know Nepal had computers.
I know. This was the bit that spammed me up, but apparently the argument is due to the risk of gaming addiction.
God.
The Nepalese government has decided to ban the game. Internet and mobile services providers were directed to block the game or face action, and people caught playing it will be arrested. So
Oh, right. But yeah, look, the extent of my experience with Nepal comes from the movie The Golden Child, so I had no idea.
yeah. Look,
But
I think it's about my level as well.
Yeah, is that really the way to solve something? If children aren't going to benefit from something, ban it.
Yes.
Look, it's worked. It's worked for like communist China for this long. So.
Well, you say it worked, but what?
Well, I mean, look at North Korea. It's thriving.
Of course it is, but there is a lot of things that children like alcohol. Alcohol's no good for children. Ban it.
Yes.
Anyway, I thought that was stupid. I did see that. There was somewhere else. A nearby country had recently banned it as well, but has since lifted the ban.
Probably.
I think it's like the Philippines or something.
Look, I was going to say it'd be somewhere north of here.
Well, yes, but I don't know. Maybe they could just
on the off chance, maybe east.
Yeah. What about knives? Children shouldn't be playing with knives, and should we bear them? And then when you're having dinner and you need a fork and knife, you've got to spin a thing and say, "I want the knife, please." No, you don't get the reference.
Oh, I get the reference.
I want the
knife. Xbox One leak. So
no, it doesn't.
Know about this one now.
I didn't know it had water in it.
I'll be surprised.
So it's apparently it's been leaked. Now take this with a grain of salt because I don't believe it for a sec, and I think you two would be on the same sort of boat. There's been some imagery and apparently a price point released for the Xbox One S digital only.
Yeah, that's not. It's bullshit. 100%. There is no way they're going to release
decent Photoshop job though.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to release this new console looking exactly like a One S without a slot. Why would you have a massive big void inside of the? You'd make it smaller, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because the disk drives are actually quite large and take up a lot of space. Yeah. They could make it significantly smaller, which would be cheaper for them. What? Yep. No, that's not. And it's too expensive. This is false information. I would put money on that. G'day everyone, Editing Lucas here. Just jumping in to say that had I have put money on that, then I definitely would have lost my money because as of today, when I'm editing the show, 17th of April 2019, Microsoft have just finished up with their Inside Xbox show and revealed that the Xbox One S All Digital Edition is indeed just an Xbox One S with the disk drive deleted. They actually took the piss out of themselves with a video showing that is literally all they did is hit the delete key on the disk drive slot. So there you go. Right back to the show.
Well, I'm going over here. So the information I've got was pulled from a Twitter post. So
the fountain of knowledge.
It's got to be legit.
Let me fact check that with Wiki.
It looks good. It looks very legit. Whoever's done it has even used like a little Windows coloured watermark. But apparently it's 1 terabyte. It's going on sale for €230.
Yeah.
So that's like
actually
$400 bucks, I think. 350, 400.
Radicus has put up a comment here that I want to address. It needs a 2 terabyte drive. Now, I've seen a lot of places complaining about the size of the drive being, 1 terabyte?
Yep. Well, that's what this one says, yeah.
And where people, and I've seen this on numerous different locations, people saying because it's all digital, it needs to have a bigger drive. This makes no sense whatsoever because whether you install the game off a disc or download the game, the size of the space it needs on the hard drive is not really any difference because when you put the disc in, it copies the entire disc installation onto your hard drive. So if it's big enough to use it with discs, then it's big enough to be all digital.
Yep. But on the flip side, if they're going to charge the same price as one with a 4K drive in it, then it needs to be a 2 terabyte.
Oh,
there needs to be some offset to it.
For that price, it probably does need to be a 2 terabyte drive. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of that stuff is accurate. I don't think the design is accurate. No. And I don't know about the price because the price is in euros. I haven't done any conversions, but everybody's complaining. Saying
230 euros is way too expensive.
Hey Siri, convert 230 euros to Australian dollars.
230 euros is $362.56.
That's the same price as the S, isn't it? Like close to?
Close enough.
S is cheaper.
Well, yeah, so I don't think that... $2.99. Well, there you go. So I don't know. There's no way in hell that's accurate. And the actual design, even if they were going to keep it the same size, they wouldn't release it with the same design. Have you ever known Microsoft to re-release something looking the same?
No.
They always reiterate.
The only way that I can see that being true is if it's a cost-saving thing because they've got extra shells.
Nah, not even Microsoft are that stingy, mate.
They wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I know, but it's just
still making
that's the only way that. Yeah, it's the only way that I can see it being a viable option.
Yeah, no.
If we go off these images, it's just going to have like a strip that plugs into the gap where the disk drive was, and Bob's your uncle.
All right.
To be fair, let's get back to the Euro thing. When have you ever seen anything truthful leaked in euros? It's always US dollars.
Yeah, true. No, look, I don't buy it. However, if I'm wrong and that is what it looks like, I'm going to harass Microsoft to give me one to give away as a prize. I'm going to absolutely hammer them. So there's a certain somebody who will get some emails from me saying, listen, I said this on the podcast. You need to get me one. Make it happen. Because I'm not paying for it. It's fucking too expensive.
Yeah. And then you'll ring me and go, who the hell did you introduce me to?
Who are you talking about? I've met the bloke. That's what you're saying, right? Hang on.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I'm on the same page. All right. But yeah, that's going to happen. But I won't have to because it'll be something different. I guarantee.
Cool.
All right. Now what?
All right.
Next?
Halo.
I've only got one last thing, so go for it.
And I do. So remember the other week when I told you about 343 telling the world that the MCC is coming to PC and that Reach was getting added to MCC.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got inundated with pizza.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This story is continuing. So there's a modder called Lord Zed who took a copy of Halo Reach and retextured the game where everything was textured as a pepperoni pizza or had some pizza reference to it. And then changed all the sounds to a random person just saying, it's pizza time. I've watched it. I've watched it, and something about it that's like kind of good. I'm not lying. Like the intro, like, so when they say they changed all, like, they're playing the mission. I don't know if you remember, but there's this mission where you've got like Storm. Look, it's too hard to explain. Anyway, the video coming into the cutscene into the mission, it's playing the song that people sing when they're making pizzas, right? So that's playing, right? That's the one. And then he lands.
Now it's in my
Then
head.
as he's flying, there's like these mountains. They just look like they've been covered in pepperoni pizza, and the helicopter flying in is like textured in pizza, and the rotor blades are just full pizzas spinning, and the gun is covered in pizza. And this sounds terrible as I'm saying it, but he's done a really good job of making it look legit. To the point when you start seeing people's faces, you're like, oh my god, this is actually a nightmare. This is horrific. But it's on YouTube.
Kaz has posted up a GIF in the podcast live chat.
Yes, there it is, right there. Look, it's right there.
Look at that. He's even just given us a YouTube link.
Look, there we go. So I didn't have to do anything. As usual, my assistant Kaz helps me out.
Champion.
I'll give you a raise, buddy. 10% more than what I give you now. So anyway, it's just added to it. This whole pizza.
I'll double it, Kazza, if you come work with me.
So anyway, yeah. Look, it was just fun. Check it. Look, it's in the Discord channel. I'm sure we'll put it up in the show notes while we're at it, and yeah, check it out. It's funny at the very least. Just have a watch. So I do suggest once the level starts, about 30 seconds in, you're going to want to mute it, because like I said, every single sound has been replaced with this person saying, it's pizza time, it's pizza time. So it's literally just, it's pizza time, it's pizza time, it's pizza time. And you will get sick of that very quickly. So just mute it and watch the rest. But yeah, it's good.
Very good. All right, Pat.
Last bit of news. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order has been revealed. So the big saving grace for all Star Wars game from Respawn Entertainment and EA has been teased, has been released. The information is there. Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, and
So
they're
Also very worried.
the big tweet about it saying, no microtransactions, single player only, no loot boxes.
Yes.
So do you know what it's going to be, essentially? The game itself, the nuts and bolts.
Well, they didn't show any gameplay, did they?
No, it was a
Because I know.
Cutscene. Yeah.
So
No, I haven't read a lot into it. I've watched the cutscene many times, and from what I've gleaned from that, it's that excuse me, it's you're a Jedi, but they don't exist anymore. So you're learning about it in secret, sort of thing.
So here it is. So it's a third-person action adventure. It's a narrative-driven single-player game. It puts you as a Jedi Padawan who narrowly escapes the purge of Order 66. You actually start up a quest to rebuild the Jedi Order, and doing that, you're paired up with this old pilot slash fugitive Jedi who teaches you all about the ways of the Force and teaching you how to master your lightsaber abilities and all that jazz.
Sounds good.
Essentially, the protagonist, you've got the Inquisitors are essentially after you. So the whole time you're having to duck and get away from the Inquisitors and the rest of the Empire.
I'm so glad it's not an FPS.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Star Wars has had enough for FPS games. Something different.
Yeah. Look,
Well, someone put up in the on the Facebook page when I put the release up info about it. It's got very much Force Unleashed sort of vibes.
Yeah. No, look, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that sort of analogy, and it does feel very much like that as well.
Nice.
Yeah, but they're like saying they're going to have these sort of cinematic, immersive combat sort of big set piece kind of things. So you feel like the lightsaber battles, you're almost in the movie kind of thing. That's what they're aiming for. So, yeah, look, it'll be interesting.
We'll keep an eye on it. I'm keen for some gameplay. I'll be really interested to see that.
But they're talking about, combat, exploration, puzzle solving. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's attached to it. So
cool.
Now, last week when we spoke about the whole Anthem issue, it was said that the guys that developed BioWare, was it, that they were forced to use EA's in-house engine. Which engine was it again?
Frostbite.
It is the Frostbite engine.
Yes, Frostbite.
So I was concerned that after we spoke about that last week and talking about all the issues and the limitations that Frostbite has, that was going to affect Fallen Order. But reading today as well, Fallen Order is using Unreal Engine 4.
Yep.
Okay.
So
see, Frostbite is what they use for Battlefield. Yeah.
Yeah, it's phenomenal for something like that.
Yep.
But one of the limitations that we spoke about last week was that third-person view.
Yeah, and it doesn't. Yeah.
And
initially, Frostbite
actually
doesn't have itself a third-person tool, or even they had to create it essentially for Anthem. Anyway,
I personally can't wait. 15th of November.
Yep, you can pre-order it now.
Of course you can
on Xbox. Though,
don't.
Greg's tip of the day: don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yep.
There is a super duper version, but it doesn't include a season pass. It's got some other goodies apparently that come with it.
So if you what is it? Hang on, I had it open. Give me a second.
Azrael wants us to come see your friendly EB staff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Have an awkward conversation about price matching.
All right. So, what do you get? So, the deluxe edition gets you the story behind the game with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Deluxe Edition, featuring a director's cut, air quotes, suite of behind-the-scenes features and content, as well as additional unique cosmetic equipment for your adventure.
Yes.
If you pre-order, you also get more unique cosmetic equipment for your lightsaber and droid companion.
Pre-order to get all the shit that we should probably just give you because you bought our game in the first place. But no, we'll make you jump through hoops.
Hey, look, I'm sure there'll be something I can spend that other $10 on somewhere else down the line.
Yeah. Pre-order
Something that's
bonuses
cooler.
need to go away.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless they're statues.
Well,
No.
you're paying for that. That's not a bonus. That's
No. The pre-order bonuses, don't care what they are, should go, because you should never pre-order anything. You can make the statue available with the game after it releases.
Oh yeah, I've got to admit,
Fuck right
even though I
off.
bought the statue for Division, I've got nothing extra with it.
yeah.
I think I've got one gun that I don't use because it was a level 1 and I'm on level 30.
That's the problem I have with in-game pre-order shit, is it's always useless. You either you get it at the very beginning of the game and you use it for 30 seconds and then throw it away for something better, or it's locked behind something that you need to finish half the game before you can get it, and then it does nothing for you, and then you find out, there's a whole bunch of other people that have it, so I'm not really that special anyway.
But
so
here I am saying, the pre-order and all that sort of stuff and bonuses and that. But the first day that it's announced, I'm going to be knocking on Az's door saying, I'll put a deposit $50 down on the extra exorbitant copy of The Last of Us Part 2. And I won't be able to help myself.
See, now I do have a caveat with all pre-orders and can fuck off. If the game has already proven itself to you, and you know what you're getting. So, in this instance, The Last of Us is going to be a good game. The last one gives you no reason to believe that Naughty Dog isn't going to create another amazing game. It's like me and Forza. I know what I'm getting every year that I buy Horizon, right? I know what I'm going to get. I know what So when I buy the deluxe, the hyper edition, I know what I'm getting for my money, and I know from day one it's going to be just like the last one, and I'm going to play it just as much, and that's good. And I gave Pat shit for Division 2, but to be honest, I know he's going to play the shit out of that game and get his money's worth out of it. Mm-hmm. So in those instances, fine, but pre-orders generally just need to.
Yeah, I think The Last of Us Part 2 is probably going to cost me near on $500 to play that game, because I'll buy the really expensive one that's like $2.99, and then I'll probably buy it digitally as well, just so I don't have to unwrap the original one from the special edition.
Oh, you are lost, my friend.
There's something wrong with me.
You're going to get one that's got a statue in it. You're going to get it home. You won't be able to help yourself.
Oh, I'll do an unboxing of it, but I'll probably buy it online, and I don't want to have a recurrence of your Division debacle, so I'll get it digitally as well. I don't know. Enough. I'll do something stupid without thinking and just go, I've spent a lot of money on this game. Yeah. I'll do a live stream of it from start to finish with a little tip jar saying, please help me recoup some of my losses. Oh dear. The rent is due. I don't even rent, but it's due.
It's always due.
Mortgage payments, that's what I meant to say.
And yes, as I get that there's the whole thing of copies, actually physical copies selling out on day one and people getting the shits, but just go buy it digitally. It's always going to be there. They never run out of digital copies.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. But anyway. All right. Well, I think that that ties up pretty much the show. How about we go into last words? Any last words before I kill you?
No. I just had the last words theme song playing in my head, though.
What theme song? It's just these days?
No, the old one. The one from last year.
Do you want me to play the old one for this week?
Yeah, why not?
All right, I'll find the old one, and that'll be in the beginning from now.
It played in my head there for a second.
I have to admit, I miss the music between the segments. I'm not going to lie.
When I'm editing it, I don't.
Yeah, sure. Fair enough.
No last words from me this week. I feel very lost because I haven't prepared anything.
Lost without you.
I do. I feel all weird because I've just sort of come in at the end.
I'm going to the Easter show tomorrow. Happy Easter to everybody.
It's only coming first.
It'll be Easter when people are listening to this, won't it?
Oh, it will be. So there you go. Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter. Enjoy your Easter egg hunts. But yeah, I'm going to the Easter show tomorrow. And there's going to be some motorbikes and all that sort of stuff there. Like, the what do they call it?
Freestyle, FMX.
Yeah. Let's just call it that. There's a Supercross. The Supercross.
Oh, that's completely different.
Well, it is. It is.
Yes, yeah, so I didn't have the right thing at all. And you're just like, let's call it that. And I'm like, but it's not that.
But Freestyle FMX is
showing his age.
What did he say?
Talking about Dagwood dogs.
Oh, Daggy dogs. I'm so going to have about 19 of them tomorrow.
And then throw up everywhere.
Oh, yeah, because I'll get food poisoning. I'm going to try... what was the one I had last time that was really cool? Oh, chips on a stick. They're good. I might get one of them.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to do the pizza cone. That's a bit shit.
One thing you need to go, or one thing you need to do, I should say, is you need to go into Hall 2, which is the Home and Lifestyle Hall. Now, generally, I would tell any man to stay the hell away from that hall. But this year, MSY Technology has got a booth in there. And they're doing lucky draw winners. And they've also got show bags.
Okay.
So show bags, $20 show bag, headphones and a mouse.
Do you mean MSI? Or is that what you said?
MSY.
What's MSY?
MSY is like a shop. It's not the actual brand MSI.
Oh, because I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, MSY Technology there. MSY.com.au.
Oh, it's a PC shop.
So
Yeah, 100% I'm
PC
going
shop.
there.
Yeah. $50, you get a ream of paper, a
Bullshit.
a
GTX
keyboard,
GTX 650 or whatever it is, aka a brush.
a brush. No, it's, what's it say? An MKA 5R RGB keyboard and a mouse. And there's also another one which has got another, like a portable keyboard, an RGB fan, and some cleaning wipes.
I just bought a new keyboard, wireless keyboard. Oh man, this sounds like a really good. I'm getting that. I'm buying that. I actually have my wallet right here that has a mustard beer voucher in it. I'm going to pick one up tomorrow. I'm going to get it.
Okay.
All right, you can let us know how it all pans out.
Do you just want me to do that?
So
do you want me to do that thing that some people do?
You can
where,
do
like,
it unbagging.
do you want I'm bagging? Do you want me to get you some show bags while I'm there?
Oh, look.
Oh shit! You guys have got 1,000 kids. I'll carry all of them.
Yeah.
No. I'm not
30
getting
beetle
that.
bags
I
for all.
wouldn't do that to you. Just shit for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kids can
stuff.
suck.
screw the kids.
I can see that's going to come back to haunt me in 16 years' time. Hey, Dad, we were just going over some old episodes of you talking about, and you stiffed us hard.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so doing that, I'll definitely check that out and tell you all about it.
Apparently they got like some lucky draw thing.
It's like a fake taxi bag, or
I'll put some updates in the Discord for you tomorrow, lads and ladette.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right, but yeah, that's about all I got.
Cool.
Oh, as you'll be happy to know. Oh, actually, I think I posted it before. You'll be happy to know that my office is tidy now. Her roommate was upset that my room was a mess last night. She could see it in the live stream webcam.
someone's OCD was starting to get to him.
Lara said she liked it better. Very good. Very good. Anything else?
This week. So last week I told you about I went drag racing and I beat my personal best at drag racing.
Mm.
Well, I went again this week and I beat it again. So last time I had a 13-second pass at 112 mile an hour. This week I had a 12.87 at 114 mile an hour.
All right.
So
you and I,
as much of that.
not that this has anything to do with the podcast, not that we'll go into it in any depth, but you and I need to organise a time, and I'm going to race you on the MT-09. We've got to do it. You keen?
Okay. I'm keen to do it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the most boring video ever. It's just going to be you driving away from me.
Well, I'm not going to make a video. I'm not going to make a video. Where would we put the video about us racing in cars?
Well, clearly me would have the video because you'd be in front.
We wouldn't see anything. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it faster than 12-second bike? I don't know. That's pretty quick, man. Your car's quick.
I don't know. Well, look. I'm happy to.
I want to
give
know.
it a crack.
I want to know. We'll find out. Shut up, Kazza. It's going to be at Eastern Creek. It's on the track. Not street racing. But anyway, all right, we'll do that. And if anyone wants to know about it, ask us. We'll tell you.
Yep.
All right. We finished? That's it for the show?
Finished. All done.
Thank you very much to everyone that has listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. A super thank you to our live listeners who are chatting away while we record the show. So that'll be, who have we got here? Kazakal, Radicus, Azrael. Is that everyone?
Because
Squirrel was here earlier.
Squirrel
Squirrel
was
was
here.
here.
Good on you. Good on you. Did I say Kazza? I think I did say Kazza. I don't know. But anyway, thank you to all of our live listeners. You guys are awesome and help make it nice and fun. Thanks to you, Snoogs and Greg, for turning up at some stage to listen to me fumble through hosting the podcast. Haven't done it in a while. To all of our listeners, feel free to continue any of the topics that we've discussed on this week's show on our Facebook page. Facebook still exists, believe it or not. Or our Discord channel. There's Twitter as well. Links are in the podcast show notes and description. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that I can't remember what Pat says. There's also my other show called That Other Show. Go and check that out. It's on iTunes and YouTube. What else is there? What do you like, comment, and subscribe? Oh, that's YouTube. Oh, never mind. Well, that's all from me. And as always, I am Lucas.
I have been Grejio.
And I have been Snoogs.
Whew, okay, that's the end of this week's podcast. And if you found yourself shouting at your speakers in disgust or maybe even in pleasure, make your way over to our Discord server and make a comment in the appropriate channel. Failing that, you can also have your say over on our Facebook page, or you can just tweet at us. Searching for the Aussie Gamers Experience will usually lead you in the right direction, but you could just use the set of links that are in the show description. This podcast is available through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, and plenty more. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode of the official podcast of the Aussie Gamers Experience. Yay, we got there. Do you have Jello? And cut. Making work for Lukey Wookie. Yeah, that's all right. That's an easy one.
Lukey Wookie.
Wookie. Oh, that was bad, but you got the point.